he thinks I'm, for some reason, ducking him. Why would I duck him when Lomachenko would stop him? So.
Richard! Oh, wow!
What I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. So before we get going on the video, man, I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. So y'all see what the title of the video is, man. Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. Done deal, but at what cost? So, you know, goes without saying, man, Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. is a done deal. Look like it's going down in June. This is the fight that we all wanted. This is the fight that we all needed. This is the fight that's gonna happen in June for undisputed. And I mean the real undisputed, okay? I don't mean the Teofimo Lopez undisputed. I don't mean the current George Kambosos undisputed. I mean the real undisputed. The undisputed that includes all 4 major belts, okay? The real belts. Not the French fries belts or the secondary regular belts, but the real belts. The same undisputed that Canelo Alvarez has right now at 168 pounds. The same undisputed title that Josh Taylor has at 140 pounds. The same undisputed that Terrence Crawford had at 140 pounds. I mean undisputed, meaning that the winner of this fight will be deemed the best lightweight, period. So I think, you know, just with that being said, man, that just makes this whole situation that much more exciting. That just makes this situation good, no matter what the circumstances are, at least for boxing fans, because we're getting the fight that we need. We're getting the resolution that we need as boxing fans in order to make that determination for who's the best lightweight. Because I mean, I really feel like this is just understated. That's all we really want to know as boxing fans. You know, boxing fans, you know, we ain't all that complicated, man. We really not. All we want to know is who the best fighters are. That's it. You know what I mean? Who's the best? You know, and then for how long can you remain the best? You know, those are really the 2 things that we really want to see as boxing fans. You know, so we're getting there with lightweight, which is cool. But, you know, for every bright spot, there's always a shadow in this particular sense. The fact of the matter is, Devin Haney had to completely and utterly undervalue himself, undersell himself in order to get this fight done with George Kambosos Jr., man. And I gotta say, man, Devin Haney is definitely a bigger man than me, because I don't know that I would have went through all this shit with George Kambosos Jr. From the moment that nigga hit me with be a man and take the same deal or whatever, I'd have been like, fuck you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously this nigga George Kambosos Jr., he had no intention of fighting Devin Haney from the get-go. I mean, it was pretty obvious. I mean, reports came out that the dude had a deal in the background with Lomachenko this entire time, but he was pretty much leading on to the public that he was trying to fight Devin Haney, or he was trying to make some sort of quote-unquote decision as to who he was going to fight based on whoever submitted the best offer. But at the end of the day, Devin Haney offered them more money to George Kambosos. Devin Haney is the one that brought a belt. So how could Lomachenko bring more to the table than a Devin Haney in order for you to give Lomachenko the fight over Devin Haney? You know, so that's the shit that never added up. You know what I mean? It was always some bullshit at the end of the day when it came to that with George Kambosos Jr. And it's just like, you know, we almost had to see George Kambosos Jr. versus Lomachenko, you know, and we would have just saw Lomachenko beat the shit out of George Kambosos Jr. And, you know, I mean, it would have been what it was. You know, these dudes would have just carried on. They would have rolled off to the sunset. They probably would have never fought Devin Haney, because we already saw Lomachenko apply for the franchise belt and not fight Devin Haney. So I got no faith that the motherfucker would have fought Devin Haney should he had gotten the George Kambosos fight before Devin Haney. You know? And then there's this deal, you know what I'm saying? It's a 3-fight deal, and, you know, the details have been released, so I'm sure y'all have heard about it. But in case you haven't heard about it, according to the reports, this is a 3-fight deal between Devin Haney and Top Rank and ESPN, in which case Devin Haney would actually have to fight George Kambosos Jr. twice. Okay, so if he beats George Kambosos Jr. in Australia the first time, he has to fight George Kambosos Jr. again in Australia. Okay? Let me say that one more time. Devin Haney got to fight George Kambosos Jr. 2 times in Australia. You know what I mean? But not only does he have to fight him 2 times in Australia, he has to fight him 2 times in Australia as the B-side. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, the deck is just stacked up against Devin Haney. But in addition to that, goddamn, the dude got to fight Lomachenko right afterwards. So, you know, for Devin Haney to take something like this, for him to agree to something like this, and you know, I get it. You know, at the end of the day, these are the fights that he wanted anyway. But he's literally being strong-armed into a contract with Top Rank. But not only that, he's being put into a situation where it's going to be hard for him not to lose. If the fight is close at all, he's going to lose. Devin Haney literally got to go into Australia and knock this dude Kambosos out. Either that or win 11 out of 12 rounds. Very, very, very convincingly. You know? Twice. Which is going to be very, very, very hard for somebody like a Devin Haney to do, considering he's not a guy with super crazy knockout power to be able to knock anyone out. So we know that 9 times out of 10 the fight's going to go to a decision. And is he going to be able to get the decision twice? You know? And then the situation is like this is a 2-fight deal. So let's say Devin Haney wins the first fight and George Kambosos wins the second fight. That means George Kambosos gets his belts back and there's no rematch clause in there for Devin. So Devin has to go. What happens at that particular point? George gets his belt back. Devin's just asked out kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at that situation and then you look at the fact that then Devin is going to have to go into a fight with Lomachenko. I don't know what the circumstances of what that fight's going to be, but maybe he has to be a B-side of Lomachenko as well. Either way, this is a fight card or a promotion done by Top Rank, a promotional company that he's not a part of, in which case they're going to be more than likely to try to screw him on that side as well. So we got these 2 fights with Kambosos in hostile territory as the B-side. And then we got another fight with Lomachenko, who, outside of Devin Haney, I mean, you can make an argument for Lomachenko being the best lightweight in the division. In which case, that's going to be a tough fight. But you'll also be in a situation where you're the B-side, where you're the guy fighting in hostile territory, in a situation there where there's a good chance you can get screwed over in that fight as well. So if you're Devin Haney, man, the deck is just stacked up against you in the worst possible way there is. You know what I mean? I gotta tell you, man, if it was me, bro, I don't know if I would have did this shit, bro. I don't know if I would have. I mean, it wouldn't have been that worth it to me. I respect the hell out of Devin Haney for taking it this far and, you know, doing what it takes to do in order to get the fight. But I don't know if I would have did all this shit. I feel like for Devin Haney, man, like what was in his mind is, you know, he was thinking about all the people that was ducking him before this, man. And he went into desperation mode, I feel like, you know. I mean, he probably started thinking about Lomachenko, how Lomachenko ducked him the first time and applied for the franchise belt. He started thinking about dudes like Devin Haney, Gary Russell Jr. complaining about contracts and, you know what I mean, that sort of bullshit. Ryan Garcia, dudes who say they want to fight but don't want to fight, but pull out a fight, but then say they want to fight. But you know what I mean? Them dudes like that, or Jojo Diaz, dudes that would rather fight Ryan Garcia than fight him. You know what I mean? And he gotta like corner niggas. He gotta literally like corner niggas into a fucking fight if you're Devin Haney. You literally gotta handcuff a nigga in order to get him in the ring with you, because they try to go left, right, any other direction that's aside from the direction that you in if you Devin Haney. So, you know, I'm pretty sure he was thinking about that the whole time. He's thinking about all these dudes ducking him. He's like, look, man, in order for me to be able to get into a big fight, I gotta take a chance. I gotta take some risks. I gotta gamble here a little bit. I understand that the deck is stacked against me, but I gotta take a gamble. I'm young. I could probably bounce back if I were to take a loss. It wouldn't be that bad. I just need to be in this big fight, you know what I mean, in order to get this thing going for my career. Like, I get that he did that and that he felt the need to do that, and I respect that. But I don't know if I would have did that, bro. I don't know if I would have did that, bro. You know, that's kind of why I got a respect for dudes like Tank. Although Tank gets a lot of criticism, Tank do whatever the fuck he want to do, and as it should be, you know, because as a fighter like a Devin Haney, you got all this pressure put on you to fight these top guys, right? You got all this pressure put on you to fight these top guys, but when you try to make the fight with these guys, it's always some bullshit. This dude Kambosos want Devin Haney, which, by the way, Kambosos is getting $10 million to Devin Haney's $3 million. So if we had to equate that into splits, that would be the equivalent of like a 80-20 or 90-10 split, right? That's what the equivalent to that would be. So he's getting like a 90-10 split from a George Kambosos, right? So he's supposed to take that twice, then fight Lomachenko. Also, he can collect some belts and then gather up sanction fees. Tank would have been like, fuck no. I would have been like, fuck no, I ain't doing all that shit. Because at the end of the day, man, if you somebody like Devin Haney, are you really going to get the credibility and the recognition you deserve anyway for doing what it is that you want to do? You know, this is really his dream, and I respect him for wanting to do it, but I don't know if I would have did it. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping the young king didn't bite off more than he can chew and put himself too far behind the 8 ball in order to be able to pull this thing out. I mean, if Devin Haney's able to make it through this thing unscathed, I mean, this dude is easily pound for pound in the top 5. You know what I mean? If he can make it past Kambosos twice along with Lomachenko, he's easily pound for pound top 5. So this gamble will pay out very well for Devin Haney should he be able to get through it. But if he can't, man, I know he gonna go down swinging, but damn, it really would be a sad situation if Devin Haney was to lose to one of them, to either Kambosos or Lomachenko in this particular circumstance. It really would be sad and bad as shit, you know. This situation kind of reminds me of like Rigondeaux and Lomachenko, how Rigondeaux was frozen out. There were no fights for Rigondeaux at all. The only fight for Rigondeaux was Lomachenko, and Rigondeaux had to move up 2 weight classes in order to fight Lomachenko in a situation where he was just too small, you know, because they were trying to promote Lomachenko. And it's like, you know, I'm just hoping that Devin Haney don't end up in that situation, man, where he's just in this lose-lose situation. He's just in this situation where he just can't win, and as a result, he's forced to hold the L. You know. But let me know what y'all think, man. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button one time for your boy. But until next time, I'ma holler at y'all. Peace.